Hey y'all, it's your girl Alex. I totally thought my daughter was having this conversation. She was telling me all about dinosaurs and I thought it had clicked over. Apparently it hadn't, so I'm pretty sure we just started, but that's okay. She was telling me all about dinosaurs and about what was it?
Heart.
Well, yeah, it was the heart of which dinosaur?
Brachiosaurus, it had such a big heart, like bigger than this room.
It's a really big heart.
Well, actually, you say Brachiosaurus was bigger than, I think, 100 or thousands of elephants. Yeah, like its body is bigger than that, and its neck's so long. So if you compare,
That's the one that has the really long neck that
yeah, it's kind of like a giraffe. So if you take,
he's the prehistoric giraffes.
So if you take 100 giraffes and compare it to a Brachiosaurus' neck, I think you'll get the Brachiosaurus' head. There you go.
I don't know, Scott. I haven't heard, but I also haven't really been on it. I've been in my own world most of today. So
Don't
he's
even say
asking
it.
if anyone's having issues on a screw tube. And if you are, let us know in the chat because he's been having issues. I haven't heard of it. But yeah, so we are riding that struggle bus homeschool, trying to figure stuff out because I basically was to the public schools, fighting for legislation. And so we're figuring this shit out, y'all. This is not easy, but apparently she's learned something because she was just telling me all about hearts and dinosaurs and giraffes.
And also, before we went on live, she called giraffes or dinosaurs.
Yeah, the Bronchiosaurus, like the long necks and stuff.
Brachiosaurus. They're not. Giraffes are not. They're mammals. Reptile. Brachiosaurus is mostly like a reptile. And actually, T-Rexes, they had feathers on their backs.
Did y'all know T-Rexes had feathers on their backs?
Well, it's like straight hair. So if paleontologists found out that if you take a T-Rex spine, you'll see tiny little chicken pops, they call it.
What are they called?
I just call them chicken pops because I forgot. It's like these tiny little, if you take a chicken bone, see the bone? It has like these bumps on its wings where its feathers go. So if you pull a feather out, that's like the bump marks that had it.
Yeah, like if you basically defeather a chicken, how it leaves trauma at the skin and it leaves like this mark.
It looks like, do you see these little bumps on chicken bones? That's what it is.
There you go. Obviously something, oh good, I'm glad it worked.
Also, there's a Utah. There's a raptor that's actually the size of like a house cat that actually swims in the water.
There's one of these looking things as a reptile fish.
It's Sir Fat Louis the Third. Sound some respect.
My bad. Anyways, so we are.
And also, there's a Utah raptor that's bigger than Johnny.
All right, well, there you go. There is. We're coming on tonight because we're talking about just our chakras and really starting to get into that. Basically, we are going through a full body spiritual, all the things, cleansing, preparation, because there are so many things shifting. There are so many things going on. And y'all, our root chakra, which is where we're going to focus tonight, this is all about just your grounding, your connection, your security, your stability, the things, your core foundations of what you really need intact. Realistically, your first three chakras really being cleansed and just high vibing in each one, because when we have a cleansed, easy flowing energy centers, we are better able to have a voice, for instance, because we have the confidence and we have the security of our root, and then we have the positive mindset about ourselves to do the things that has an impact, right? Because we've got to have all of these core things to do the higher purpose and all of that stuff, right? Fulfilling all the things, right? This is your first part of it. It's establishing your security and, just really, I guess, going back to just what we were talking about, why y'all, if you would have told me 2 years ago, if y'all would have told me 2 years ago, this would be my life right now, I'd be like, sweetheart, do we need to get to the doctor to get you checked out? Are you feeling okay? How are you doing? Like, genuinely, I would have told you you're high, you're on something, you're not right, legit, because this is something that I would not have imagined, but here we are. Because y'all, it is so vital to take back your voice. It is so vital to continue to stand, because we as humanity are at a pivotal point, and one of the key things we need to harness in is our security, right? Think of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. If you've never heard of it, it's basically this triangle type pair, or diagram that has like your base, right? The bottom part, the thickest,
It's
most.
called pyramid.
Yes, I'm aware, but there's the bottom
If
portion.
you're aware, then why didn't you say that?
Stop. My daughter is literally my twin, y'all, if you haven't noticed. And it was definitely done to teach me patience. I will tell you that. Like, dealing with yourself is got a lot of pros and cons, but it does try your patience. I know there's a lot of parents out there who are just like, amen, because I know y'all feel me on the other side. But anyways, yes, exactly, Dom, exactly. Standing up for what you believe in, standing up for that God-given rights, because even when your enemy is telling you something completely different, but you know, because you were divinely guided to that answer, that this is that truth, y'all, it's legitimately worth it to die over. And you know what's amazing? That I didn't realize this. Y'all, we have to give our consent for them to even have the ability to take the things away from us that they're threatening, really big and scary. This is going to happen. No, it's not, because what you do, it'll be like in that last moment kind of thing. They're going to really push it, and it's going to be really scary. Like, it might happen. But when you stand in that sovereignty and that standing in that confidence of whatever it is that you were told to do, to stand in, whatever that is, God's going to win. Let me repeat that. God has won. And you have to remember this. Going forward with wherever we're going, whatever comes up, whatever presents itself to you, remember that God wins this. And I've already had visions of it. If you haven't seen one of my video specifically when I finally came out, I was nervous as hell, y'all. I ain't gonna lie, because I'd never posted something like that publicly. Like, yeah, I talked about it in my church. Like, that was cool. Like, it always worked out, and, people got the answers, and that's where I learned to do that stuff, right? To channel. I talk to Archangel Michael all the time. Where did I learn it? In my church, when I was channeling the higher powers to deliver the message as a messenger to other people, because that was something I knew I was called to do. We can all do this. Like, it's scripture based, y'all. That's the best part. So, like, all the people who are raised with these teachings and stuff, who are I've had people reaching out to me with love, but just like, are you feeling okay? Because X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, hold on. You've been misled. Let me show you. Because it's really cool. We can all do this. But we need to have our core foundations, right? Really able to be just solid, stable, secure, have a good foundation, right? You have a home that you're not bouncing around from. You have a stable amount and security of food and safety, generally speaking. Like, those are legitimate things that people may not think of. But if you're living with a high crime area, honey, I guarantee you are never truly relaxed, because you're watching these through your windows, what's coming around, looking at different entryways. Like, it doesn't ever stop. That's not truly relaxing. And if you're living with that, then I'm telling you right now, this is the work we need to do, because you need to be in a space where you are generally able to be at a ultimate calm peace, where you're really able to come into that secure things, and things are going to be coming up. We're heavy in just that relinquishing, revealing what is coming to the surface, and relinquishing that fear we may have associated with whatever it is that comes up. And it's generally going to be something that's going to shake our foundation. What's super cool is someone close to me is going through like this epic court battle, and she finally like stood up and was like, no. The grandparent was just basically this really awful person, who had abused her kid and stuff, and it's just this whole chaotic mess. And yeah, they tried to like scream and holler, but they had no room or leg to stand on it. And it got like intense. And I was just kind of watching because I knew how this was going to end. I was like, I already know how this is going to end. Just there's no way. But it was amazing to watch these bullies, how even when they're staring truth in the face, they're going to scream and holler. And you're just kind of like, wow, they're really doing that. Because like just it's called it's called gaslighting. And it's actively what so many people are going through, where there's literally, it's called the Ash experiments, ASCH, Ash experiment. And what they looked at was what happens when people speak out, when they speak out about whatever it is they see. If the group as a whole is speaking about something wrong, even if they're staring something false in the face, they're going to call it true because the group did. They found it to be the mass majority of it. I forget the exact percentage, but it was really high. And I was just like, I understand, because we're so concerned with like being perceived. However, right, there's always going to be someone that hates you, and there's always going to be someone that loves you. And you know, there's just even if it's your cat that loves you, right?
That's my cat, not yours.
Little buddy's got a soul, right? Sweet, his whole personality. Even if that means it's just your cat that loves you, that's a somebody.
He
right?
says, "Help me."
It's her cat.
Mine.
She does take care of it, litter box and all. But
I don't feed them.
because I know there's going to be someone on the other side that was like, I don't have somebody that loves me. Yes, you do. They're amazing.
You have a cat.
Super easy to care for.
Actually, cats have a bunch of love in their soul.
They do have a bunch of love in their soul. She's right. Get yourself a cat if you feel genuinely nobody loves you. They're super easy.
Good dogs.
Oh. Sorry, I was just catching up with the chat. Yeah. I don't know what's going off, but it's something's going down soon, Dom, for sure. He was saying about the I'll let y'all read that. I'm wondering if there's any still underground. Honestly, like I'm wondering if how many are left. How will like I want to know the status. I want to know like where we're at in the process. Like personally, I know I'm not supposed to know. Humanity's not supposed to know. Michael is getting like irritated the number of times I asked him, because the last time I asked him, he was just like, "I've already told you," and I was just like, "Okay." My bad. And it's just because I could tell it was irritated, because it was like coming from a place of concern and just doubt and fear. And, you know, I'm just like picturing his face in my head. Seriously, when you start connecting with like the angels and stuff, like it's insane. It is just, I mean, that's why when I literally am at this place in life where someone can pass over and like, yeah, you know, that's going to suck a little bit. It's going to be a change in my life that, you know, I'd maybe not rather not have for someone close to me to change in their physical existence, but my ability to connect with them and, you know, and all of our ability to connect with others beings on the other side or other dimensions, all of the things, is really just a matter of tapping into them and their frequency and just them. Doesn't matter where their meat suit is, right? Are you in the flesh? Or are you in a different dimension? Like, where are you at? Where's your soul at? That is the coolest thing, because, you know, I probably look at them like, not really gone. You know, like I know their meat suit is, but they themselves aren't. And so I think for me, there's been so many things with like the pokey thing, right? There's so much censorship, it's ridiculous. But that thing, like to do it or not to do it, what happens, and all the things, right? Y'all, I could walk outside and get bit by a rattle or cottonmouth and just die. Texas in the country, that is a very real threat. And you know what? If that's my time, that's my time. But my soul goes on, and you know, everyone is the same way. It probably was. It would not surprise me. Um, because, just and that's the thing, there might be this is people's livelihood, right? Their foundation might be getting shattered during this time, and just whatever comes up during these meditations, I really want to just encourage y'all to really just journal over the next like 24 hours or so, because I'm going to be doing them at the same time every night. Journal and just write what comes up. Get a diary, just even like one of like a plain, book, keep next to your bed. If you are having dreams, write your dreams down as soon as you do them, because it's going to help you remember what your subconscious is allowing in. That state right before we go to bed is so vital for just really setting up our ability to have healthy, really transmissions and downloads, because that's where, when we release that side of us, there's so many things. Like, I have so many visions in my dream state of future things that have come. Like, it happens often, actually, which is cool, but kind of terrifying. But it's just these downloads. They just come through. And I'm like, oh, okay. Doesn't make sense to me now in my just awoken state from having the dream, but cool, this is an event. And everyone has this though. And it's the coolest thing, because we are really able to all tap into this. And like, really, seriously, y'all, I kid you not, in the next like couple 100 years, like literally they said in my children's lifetime, and I was like, okay, that's really cool. Just like how light the world is physically. Like, humanity was literally vibrating at a higher dimension, and it was the coolest thing. That's where humanity is going. This is what we do. Like, we have to go through these different things that come up, because it's so vital we cleanse this energy. We really tap into the things that come up. We journal it, we acknowledge it, we sit with it, we process it, and then we can put it to bed, and we can truly shine just bright, y'all. We are energetic. Our souls are just these energetic beings, really, at the end of the day. You know, our soul doesn't die. Our meat suit might, but our soul doesn't. And so our souls came here for a reason, and it's so vital we tap in. Oh, man. Oh, that's insane. But I'm glad it's working. Definitely want to dig into this meditation. So I did have a couple of things I want you guys to journal about, and all of the things, right, relating to your root chakra. And so where this particular chakra is, if you're new to this, right? So sorry if this is going to be a little breakdown if you guys aren't new to this. It's basically at the base of your spine. So if you can think of like where your tailbone is supposed to be, like the actual bone part of it, kind of internal of your flesh, right? Kind of right there at the base. And the color of it's this really bright ruby red. And so this deals strictly with like your stability, so it's financial, relationships, emotional, mental, financial, all of the things, right? All of the things that make up your ability to have consistent food, have a consistent roof over your head, stability in your life, all of these things, right? They really come down to having that. And so if you have any impacts in that, this is absolutely going to affect this chakra, and just that ability to flow that, because it's like a pyramid, right? We're building this pyramid essentially within ourselves. And I forget what the exact degrees are, but this is that it's the steeper. If you're looking at the pyramids, it's the steeper geometry. Those are the ones that relate to dealing with the more high energetic flow, and just like really pulling into it. And so really, when we do a lot of the visualizing work, here's kind of the angles to look at, so you can see just like how steep to make your chakras and everything else as you're doing it, because you're literally doing line by line. So we're working right here at the base. We're working on our root, and then we're going to go on up to where the very top is our crown, right? And so as we go through this meditation, I'm going to do a meditation, and then I'm going to do a group neuro-linguistic programming type group meditation. It's based off Linda McTaggart's Power of Eight, and it's really just bringing in that group energy vibration just for humanity, really just bringing in that beautiful, just healing energy. So I'm gonna like do a bunch. It's all right. It's gonna be good. And if you have to listen to this later, by all means do it. Like, come back with a journal, start writing stuff down as they comes up. If you're not subscribed, please like and subscribe. And if you want to go into the description, I have the links to all of the upcoming ones too. If you want to go in, you can basically click the notification bell and it'll tell you when it's coming on. So it's going to be at 10:10 Central Standard Time for the next, what are we at, 8 days now? Till the full moon, and then in like the whole preparation and all the good stuff, right? All right, so how are y'all feeling? I'm going to get my singing bowl. I'm going to take some water, and then we're going to get rocking. How are y'all feeling? You guys were talking about a attack on ScrewTube, getting all the truthers and stuff. I'm not surprised, honestly, because it's where we're at, right? It's annoying, but it's a necessary thing, right? To come to where we're going to go. Like, this is just, we're in the process, like I was talking about last night with that meditation, which if you haven't done it, I encourage you to go watch it. It was good. But, it's like we're in the process of birth, right? Like, you can't stop it. Like, the baby's coming. We knew we were going to get here. We were getting more and more uncomfortable every day. And so, you can't just like wish it away and it just like poof disappears. Like that's not how this works. Like, you're in it, let's go. And just really, it's going to start off kind of rocky. You might even get to a point before it ends where you're just like, I can't do this. Like, I can't. Well, even if you get to that point where you're just like, I can't, I'm tapping out, can't do this anymore, I want to encourage you to remember to have strength, because God wins this war. No matter what's going on in your life, no matter how big and scary it looks, remember that God wins. The light wins. We win. We absolutely do. And even if you're crawling, just keep moving forward. God is absolutely here, Dom. 1000%. This is like sticking. So she's passed out. Little Miss Big Game over here was like, I'll stay up for your meditation, Mom. I can do it. I was like, okay, here we are. Watch it. This cat, I swear, every time I sit down, he's just like, and I'm ready to get in your lap. Crazy cat. Let me grab some water. Oh man, yeah, it's been insane. But you know what? It's a good insane, right? Like, there's a reason for this, and like, we're coming to the end. Oh. I always wonder if you guys can hear that or not. I'd be curious to know if you can. I'm like all stiff, like all this. We're still having like massive thunderstorms. If y'all aren't following me on Instagram, I'm always posting all kinds of stuff on there. And it's funny because like Michael's still telling me I'm being protected, because I've asked him, like, how am I not kicked off? And they're like, you're being protected. You're there for a reason. Keep going. And I'm like, okay. But it's funny because like, I don't care. I just post whatever. And it was weird. I'd post something like that though about the thunderstorm. Go check it out on my Instagram, y'all. For real. All right. Go ahead and get comfortable. I'm going to say a prayer of protection for all of us. Oh man, they're lining up. Y'all, I am calling in 400,000 of the finest guardians, angels, guides, higher beings that have the best intent, most loving, pure intent for humanity to really step forward and collectively join us. To step forward with that protection, being able to divinely cover every single person who hears this, either intentionally or not, to where they're able to receive the message that comes before everything that goes on, before what we're about to encounter together as a collective whole. We're able to really amplify this power of healing and able to really put forth into this motion that shift into humanity, where we are able to manipulate and push forward the progressiveness of where we all need to go collectively by able to change our vibrations into the healing that we all individually need to go through and really deepen and even be aware of just basic distractions that are pulling us away from our highest being. It doesn't have to be wild and crazy, but it has to be something that pulls us away from our highest divine, walking in that path and really being able to step into our calling. And I ask all of you to protect every single one of us with divine bubbles of just beautiful protective light, to really cast just this beautiful protection over each and every one of us, so that we can go forward and do in our own beings and our own callings, being able to shift that energy in our own lives and the humans around us, and being able to collectively impact humanity into the highest divine being, where we are able to help each other ascend into the higher, lighter beings of what you have called us to be able to do, where you are literally and stepping human or bringing humanity into the gates of heaven, where we truly have heaven on earth, where it is just beautiful and divine, and just there is not the same dense negativity that we feel even today. But as we feel it getting lighter and lighter, that we are able to go forward into what it is you called us to do, what we agreed to come and reincarnate here to do, that we are able to fulfill it with the purest divine intent, that we are able to go before and just be way changers in everything that we touch and we do, where we're able to tap into all of the people that we're connected to where we're supposed to help and we are called to help and heal, and whatever it is we are all individually guided to do, that it is ignited into our soul, into our being at this very moment, where we are able to really step forward collectively, armed with the power of righteousness, justice, truth, and honor, and the divinest, purest, most intended way, to be able to step forward into our calling as soldiers and as knights protecting the divine truth, able to step into that beautiful divine being, being able to call forward to be able to protect that and protect those around us and humanity, being able to stand guard over everything that goes on, that we are able to stand forward and be the protectors of that divine truth and really be the way changers, where we're able to step forward into that just momentum and that forward progression, when we're able to really combat anything that is of the dark, the negativity, anything that tries to snuff out the light, that we step forward in our highest divine being, where we're able to cast out all dark everywhere it tries to run and hide, that it is to leave. It is not welcome anywhere that my voice is heard, either intentionally or unintentionally, that it is able to vibrate the highest, the farthest, to go the furthest distance, to where it is able to penetrate even the nooks and crannies of where the dark and the evil try to hide, that you are cast out in every bit and everywhere that any bit about my voice is heard, and that this is able to cast that protection to where your divine energy and light is able to infiltrate the entire space, where it is all divine knowing on the same collective path. I thank you so much for your protection and what you're doing before every single person that this is for. As we step into these beautiful meditations, oh, if you haven't met your guides, I ask that you just really check in with your people and really start letting them know who you are through whatever the intimacies that it is that you are supposed to have with that person. If they don't know you, that you really start interacting with them more than obvious ways. Oh man, in your precious son's name, amen. Oh, all right, y'all. So I want y'all to get comfortable, whether you're sitting or standing. I want you to feel where you're making contact with the ground, where you're able to step into feeling just the energy below you, circling, grounding in a very rhythmic way. Imagine a clock spinning as you've wound it up. at an even speed. Take a deep breath in. Let it out. Imagine this flowing energy below you, just rhythmically turning, pulling you into this grounding energy. Take a deep breath in. Let it out. Imagine this beautiful divine energy pulling you up, straightening your back, perking your head up and even your chin. As you feel this divine energy pulling your spine up to the heavens, take a deep breath in. Let it out. Feel this energy just pulling you up. And as you feel it pulling you up, feel the energy flow back through into the grounding energy to make an energetic loop. Feeling into this energy, take a deep breath in. Let it out. I want you to imagine this beautiful red light at the base of your tailbone. Imagine this beautiful red light. And I want you to sit with your light and see if it has any blemishes. Do you notice any dark spots? Did you notice anything that maybe is coming up that doesn't feel good? What do you see is coming up for you in this space? Don't judge it, just sit with it. Examine it. Write it down if you need. But just honor that this has come up and is presenting itself to you. And now I want you to imagine a happy scenario, something that really brings you joy, a memory of yours that really just like gets you super pumped and just like really ready to go and really ready to just move forward, and like you feel really great, you feel really confident. Think back to a memory that just like really has you super jazzed. And what I want you to imagine is, as you're feeling into this energy, to really just imagine yourself successfully working through whatever it is that brought itself up to you. So if you are having trouble with time, for instance, and it's having an impact on your job, and so you're worried about that, well, that time, I want you to sit here and have this visualization of yourself that is someone who is successfully managing time and on time with everything, or getting work done, or whatever it is that has come up. I want you to imagine what it looks like being on the other side of that, on a positive aspect that is successful in what it is that is needing to that need to be met. And as you sit here with that visualization, I want you to pair that energetic, positive, forward, confident feeling that you were just envisioning. As you picture this person, you were just jazzed, you were rocking it, whatever it is that was going on that has some sort of negativity or really able to just have that success through these things, regardless of what it is that came up. And really pair that jazz, positive moving energy with this imagery. Take a deep breath in. Let it out. And I want you just to feel even more jazzed, feel even more ready to just tackle and just being on that other side where you're just super accomplished and successful in completing whatever it was that brought itself up, that feels like it's a threat, that you were able to just harness this positive, forward-thinking momentum and feeling and mindset, and just really having that positive energy that just satisfies every basic need of yours that you have. Take a deep breath in. Let it out. I want you guys to come back to wherever you're sitting at and just kind of start feeling your body and coming back. Just kind of coming back into your space. Can y'all hear her, by the way? I don't know if you guys can hear her. I was sitting there wondering that. I was like, I wonder if they can hear her snoring. All right, y'all. I want to do just really one of those neurolinguistic programming is what it is. If y'all watch my content, you know I love doing this, especially as a collective. It's my fave. But it's just really because, we are at the pinnacle of what's going on. There's a lot of really big things going on. And yes, we are going to be successful, but we also have to put in the work. It's a two-way street. We have to do our part, not just in the spiritual, but also in our communities, right? Make sure you're getting involved in whatever it is. Do something. Every one of us adults really were able to help satisfy, because this goes more than just our, immediate needs, right? You need a house, you need food, you need a bed, you need to have some safety to be able to adequately sleep and actually rest. But you also have your safety and security needs in your community. So if you're not doing anything, I really want to encourage you to challenge yourself on the other side of this, to really get involved in something, anything. If every one of us adults in our communities gets involved, everything will be covered, right? And, I really want to challenge y'all, right? But, all right, y'all, I really have just been wanting to bring that really positive energy into really what it looks like to have our communities whole, at a high vibe mentality across the board in our entire communities, right? And each of us just focuses on our, individual communities having that impact. We can really just have that. But I mean, just all of the communities, obviously everywhere, humanity as a whole for this. But I do want to encourage you guys too to take this out to your communities. That's where I was going with that before. Take this stuff out and do mass meditations. I am challenging myself to try to do something like that here, because that was a download I got before earlier today. They were just we need to get in contact with people, in person, and really bring back that collective physical energy. Online is great. It has made so many amazing things, but we do have that, that need for touch, right? Human physical touch. And so, I want to encourage you guys to bring this out, do something with this, have fun with it. I feel like everyone will be pleasantly surprised at how well it's received. But what I want y'all to visualize is, what does it look like to have that high vibe mentality? So I mean, no crime, no abuse, no real need for the justice system. I mean, it exists, but really it's rarely used. And just because divorces aren't happening, families are intact, the schools are good, people really aren't committing crime. And, like the police and fire department is really there to help people in need. Like, that's how I view what my community would look like. And I mean, like, I want y'all to get as detailed as possible when you're really thinking about what your vision is, because the more defined and precise we can all be with whatever it is that we're really putting into the energy, that we're transmuting, like, we are part of the process. We're the other half. Like, I think of it every day. I'm like, the AZ audit. Yeah, they had watermarks and different things that they were looking for in the paper, but the people had to push for it. The people had to speak and say, we want this. This is ours. Give it to us to have done. Legally, they are authorized. All the things they're doing, 1000% legal. But they had to speak up and say, I want this. We have to do the same. We absolutely have to do the same. It's there. It's waiting for us. It's like, hey, come get me. Like, I'm just hanging out. Like, receive. Humanity has to receive and take back our consent, right? It's just, it is so beautiful what is literally ours. And what's amazing is humanity is waking up. We are absolutely stepping into that. But this is how detailed I want y'all to get when you're doing all of your visualizations, or however you're doing it, whenever you're doing it. Really get to the details, because it is so vital. So think about, what it looks like in your streets, how the kids are, like, what does it look like? And I really want you guys to harness that. And find a memory in your little memory banks. Go back to something that's just really got you pumped. I mean, like, I think back to when my cousin's wedding. He literally jumped off the stage with like a half drunken state with no shirt on and was like, this is the greatest day of my life. I kind of want to like harness that energy. I'm not going to lie, because like, that's what I see humanity coming to, like, in a celebration, like on the other side of it. Like, that's when I say, like, tap into that celebration. This is what I'm talking about, because that's exactly how we're going to be. We're literally going to be like, just like, yes, this is the greatest day ever. Look at what's happening. We are going to be jazzed. We are going to be pumped. We're going to be so ready to just party, basically, because it's like, we are actively seeing and having it play out, the light winning, right? So I really want y'all to start going back in that memory bank, find these really amazing memories. And I really want you to just start playing them. If you've got multiple of them, start playing them like a reel in your head. Really just start getting yourself pumped, get yourself into that energy, because the more we can tap into physically feeling, creating a physical energy in our bodies, and letting it physically manifest, we are creating like a physical wavelength of energy in this space-time continuum, whatever you want to call it. We are creating that, and we are transmuting it. We are literally being alchemists through, because everything's energetically connected. So when I am talking about, wow, I want you to feel into this, like really feel into it, y'all, do your absolute best to really feel it, because we can, that's part of the process. That's the coolest part of this. Like, we literally can do this. So I want y'all to like go through these like reels, whatever it is that just really has you pumped and just like ready to go, and really just we called it hyphy where I was growing up. So just to get hyphy, just all right. So I want y'all to like close your eyes and just start playing this show reel of all these different memories that just, it gets you hyphy, you're excited, you're pumped, you're celebrating, you're ready to go, you're energized, you're awake, alert, you feel great, your adrenaline is pumping, and you are ready to go. And as you really start feeling into this, what I want y'all to start focusing on is start playing a reel through your mind of what it would look like in your communities, to where we have that high vibe feeling, and where you are literally walking down the street, you're pumped, you're ready to go, like you love seeing, and you are just so thrilled and ready for life to just be, and just harnessing in that energy. And I want you just to imagine in your mind's eye just this reel of what it would feel like to see, and just being so pumped to have that outcome playing in your head, in your mind's eye, as to being able to see into this. And as you're visualizing, I want you to take a deep breath in, let it out. I want you to imagine just this amazing energy as you're going through just the different places around your town that you've been, and how they're positively changing. And you're just so excited that this is your reality. This is humanity's reality. Take a deep breath in, let it out. I want you to continue to play in your mind's eye just what it would look like as for your country, wherever you're at, your state, your country, whatever the next level up is. I really want you to start imagining what it would be like in your country, your home, what it would be like to have just that high vibe mentality, and really just being on the front lines, seeing all of this transmute in real time into this positive, high vibe energy where all of the negativity is just snuffed out, bringing that positive, just excited energy into this, where you're feeling into that outcome being your reality. Take a deep breath in, let it out. Now I want you to imagine the continent that you're on, having that same high vibe, just everything, all of the world's problems just not being an issue anymore, like truly being resolved. All of the bad people who are doing all of these things are literally gone. They do not exist. Every bit of the dark is just gone. There's nothing but light and love. Imagine for your continent what that would look like. How would that feel, knowing that your neighbors, whatever direction they're in, your neighboring countries, are genuinely safe? What would that feel like? Now bring this beautiful, loving energy back into that visualization so that you can really process what that feels like, where you're just that overwhelming excitement, positive energy, being into that, just your location. Take a deep breath in, let it out. Now I want you to imagine what it would be like for humanity, the earth, all of the beings, all of the animals, the humans, every being that is living on the earth plane, to being considered a sovereign being. And just receiving that news that humanity is allowed to be sovereign in its own, and it has taken back or into its authority, its own sovereignty, and just having that celebration where we're able to be pumped. We are just like, oh my gosh, this is the greatest day in the world. Like, yes, this is amazing. Just really having that high vibe, just like super pumped energy, and just imagining what it would look like to have every being on the earth plane being a sovereign being, and that all of the dark and the negativity and everything that came to seek, kill, and destroy is gone. It is cleansed. It is a high vibrational time. That this is what we, the humanity, we get to live in. Imagine this feeling in your mind's eye as you're just energized and you're just seeing what it would look like, the beauty, the purity of humanity. Take a deep breath in. Let it out. I want you to start processing how that looks, humanity being sovereign, and to really start seeing that in your mind's eye. Each individual being is safe and protected. Take a deep breath in. Let it out. Come back to your body, your physical stuff. Start like grounding yourself out. Oh man. Oh. Well, I love you guys so much. Thank you for joining me tonight. I pray this has helped you guys. I love it, y'all. If you guys are down, like hop in the chat. There's just these amazing patriots in the chat that are amazing. They're always coming in with just this like super high vibe energy. You know, Miss Empress Marina, Stacy, Dom, Scott, you guys are amazing. Absolutely. I love this. So y'all, if you are watching this and like you're feeling like sad, hop in the chat for real, because it is always just like flooded with high vibe. I love you guys so much. Like this is amazing. Just I'm feeling that, like I'm buzzing. I don't know about y'all, but like I'm literally like vibrating, and this is amazing because like y'all, this is how we do it, just putting these intentions. And it's what's cool is like if you're watching this later on and like you're, you know, however long down the road, it doesn't matter when you watch this, because your energy that you're giving out, like that's what I mean, like of why it's so important to create the physical manifestations in our bodies, because regardless of when someone watches this, that feeling they create, it all comes back and amplifies this tonight's video even bigger. It's, if you're new to some of these concepts, it took me a little while to process. I'm not gonna lie, I was just like, it took me a minute. I was just really kind of blown away, and it took me a few days to process it. So if y'all are in the same boat and you're like trying to figure this out, it's not you. It is a lot. It's totally okay. Take it bit by bit because it is a lot, you know, but take small little pieces, just digest, right? You'll be all right. I love you guys so much. You guys are amazing. Feel at the same time you're writing it. That's amazing. But I love you guys so much. I hope you guys have a fantastic night. And I'll for sure see you guys tomorrow. We're going to get online. I'm going to do my lunch chat tomorrow. It's Wednesday. So hop on with us tomorrow. I love you guys. Have a good night.